That was the main thing that the government wanted. They wanted Barbara's repatriation paper. So this slick-ass girl was working for the other side the whole time. And if you go on YouTube, you will see this lying devil lizard sit up there on camera talking about it's about his freedom. And it's about Pop's freedom. And I've never seen Neefle ever work on anything for Barbara. I know her as Neefle, Elizabeth Westbrook. We lived in the same apartment complex together, okay? So how is she a student teacher, the master teacher, and she going on and on and on, but she up there ranting about how she, it's about his freedom, but yet she was an informant all along, okay? And her sisters are witches. They were called the Westbrook witches on Tamaray, all right? Now, Dana, let's talk about her. She's another informant, okay? Her assignment was the Nuwaubians. She came in as an informant, and when she moved on the land, she moved in with her mate, no other than Al Woodall, another FBI informant. They both were informants, and they were mates. They were a couple, and their assignment was Tamaray, okay? Now, Dana hates me, but she's also afraid of me because I always saw right through her bullshit, and I would ask her questions. My thing is this, when she started dating Bobby Dixon, and then Bobby Dixon married her, but the brother used to like me, right? He used to come up to me, and I said, no, I don't like you. I ain't really feeling police officers, brother. So no, thank you. Whatever. But he had a problem with that. Sometimes people don't like to be rejected. And so he got with Dana, married Dana, and then they had a child together. They had a short-term relationship. But I said to myself, that's deep that she's marrying a cop because, if you're an informant and you're walking around in a tribe and you're a freaking FBI agent, I would be very uncomfortable because only you know you're the informant. So in your mind, you're like, man, I better sit over here, and I don't want to be around certain people that I think that might clobber me over my head, But I remember one time we was at the Mir in Georgia, and I sat directly behind Dana. And after I sat behind her, I wasn't going to hit her. I wasn't even thinking nothing like that. It was an empty seat. Another one of the sisters who was an informant came in and said, hey, Dana, and said it loud. And Dana's eyes got real big, and she turned around, and she looked at me, and she got scared, and she got up and moved. And that was my confirmation. I said, this chick is a freaking FBI agent. She's an informant. And you watch her, how she talks. She speaks very well spoken. Why is she always living beneath her means? I'm telling y'all, family, they assign these people to our tribe, okay? And, one day when they was in charge of the building in Covington, her mate walked by me and he bumped me with his shoulder like he hit me. And I never forget, I said something to Waki about it. Of course, she didn't do shit. She don't give a damn. I said, yo, this brother just bumped me. You know what I'm saying? So I called my family in New York, and I spoke to my brother. And my brother said, yeah, he probably just don't want you there. And I called my cousin Akusa. She's a medium. And she said, yeah, he's trying to start trouble because he don't want you in there. And my brother said, listen, don't do anything. If he steps out of line again, we just going to come down there and don't say nothing to nobody. And then my mother got on the phone. And mother said, beat his wife ass. He got a wife, beat her ass. He's putting his hands on you. You can't fight no man. Do what I taught y'all. Beat her ass. But the next day when I came in the building, because I was going to body slam Dana. When I came in the building, she had fell down the stairs and broke her finger. So I was like, okay, I'm good. The Mother Nature her husband want to bump me. Mother Nature took care of her. She fell down the stairs and broke her finger. So anyway, Baba used to give me countless let my words be known letters at that time, right? And Dana used to make sure that I was not on camera, okay? Because she didn't want y'all to know that she didn't want me getting camera time. She didn't want y'all to know that Baba was giving me information, okay? See, their job is to block and stop the master from coming home. So if you got somebody like myself and others who really want him out, they're going to work on you, They're going to try to jump you, So also, her mate Al Woodall, or shall I say her ex, he tried to link up with me, back in the days in Athens. and he said he wanted his hair braided. But I knew this nigga was a fed, and these dummies, they listen to their old master, and I know they told him to play me close, and because they would read my mail, I would work on stuff for him, and every time he said he wanted his hair braided, I needed the money because I braid hair. So I told Iris to come to my house, and Iris came to my house, and then he said to LaQuindia, why every time I go to her house, Iris is there? And I said to LaQuindia, why is it a problem for Iris being at my house? It's my goddamn house. If he just wants his hair braided and there's no other intention, what's the problem with me having Iris there? I don't have no man at my house without a witness, So then one day, a while back, to speed y'all up, I was in Decatur, and I had a meeting with the head of all Masons in Decatur, Georgia. A sister that I knew from back in the Ansar days linked me up with this brother and said, listen, we could talk and get Baba out. And we went over to the house to talk with Nababsek, and then I told the sister, I said, yo, let's go skating. And we went skating, and Al Woodall was there, and he was wired up. He had a wire on him. And I walked up to him, and I looked at him, and I said, this nigga is wired up. And he saw me staring at him. He took his shirt and tried to move it up from up beneath him. Because I ran into Rashad over there at the time. If y'all don't know the brother Rashad, he cuts hair. He used to live on the land. He's an Ansar. When I had my hair bald, he used to keep my hair cut for me. And he worked at the airlines at the time. So I met up with him to get, switch up phone numbers with him for emergency purposes because I was on my way to Africa, to Liberia. So I said, just in case something don't work out, I got somebody who worked, at the airport that can get me on the next thing smoking up out of here. But anyway, y'all, I just want to let y'all know Dana is fake. She's an informant. She's evil. And I don't know if y'all ever saw that flyer that her and Victoria did, but it's a flyer. Let me pull it up. And it has Baba's face on it and over Baba's head. And if y'all want a copy of this, you can email me and I'll send you a copy of this flyer. But you got to see this. They got a flyer, and over Baba's head it says stop, and over, and the word kill is over Baba's head, of injustice, okay? They're trying to hurt the master teacher, y'all. They're trying to assassinate our Lord and Savior, all right? So they got stop and over, kill, and they got the word kill over Baba's head, and it says of injustice. And then at the bottom, right, this was supposed to be a petition to Obama. At the bottom it says the only thing necessary, and this is what they wrote. Look, this shows you how these black devils think. Listen to this. At the bottom it says, the only thing necessary for the victory of evil is for good people to do nothing. So what is that saying right there? What is that telling y'all? That's telling y'all right there, excuse me, I just wanted to see how many people was in the room. That's telling y'all right there that they know we're not going to do anything. Because what do the good people do? They sit back and do nothing. This is what they think. The only thing necessary for the victory of evil is for good people to do nothing. Okay? Dane is a witch, make no mistake. She's a witch too. And she wants Baba assassinated. Okay? She was on the land. She did fake interviews with the mystery behind closed doors. That was all fake. All right? Now, Robbie is also a witch, and she's married to Joe Hibner. Okay? And she, like others, like the rest of them, they think that, Sabians or the Nawapians are the dumbest people on the planet. And she's made up countless lies just to collect money and say, all you got to say is this, all you got to do is this. Everything is a joke to this witch. She's another part of the scheme. And when Rochelle York, Baba's daughter, Bob made it clear that was his DNA daughter, when she was working on Liberia, Robbie listened to Neefu switch a story around about the government calling her phone, and they switched it and said it was Rochelle because Neefu lied to them and told them that Baba told her to forward Rochelle's phone to her phone so that way they won't miss phone calls. So when that phone call came in, Neefu lied to Raina and said, and Raina told me this out of her own mouth. Neefu lied to Raina and told Raina that Rochelle, Pop said to forward Rochelle's calls to my call. So when that happened, they all called a meeting, and they were waiting for Rochelle to come in the house. And Robbie picked up a blunt object and almost killed Rochelle. And Baba said he was laying in his cell, and he felt it. He jumped up, because this girl had all of Baba's documents and paperwork with Liberia in her hands. At the time, she was working with Fatima Omar Sanosi, okay? And at the time, they were living in a place called Abbey West in Athens. And I don't know if y'all know anything about that movie, Abbey. It was about a black girl who got possessed by a devil. Anyway, that's just no coincidence that they live in a place called Abbey West, and they witches of the West. And the name Abbey is about a woman, about a devil, a woman who got possessed by a devil. But Rochelle York, she was also a federal agent. I don't know what that was all about with her going to Africa to try to get Baba repatriated. She did do a lot of work. And one time Baba wrote me and wanted me to work with her because of the letter that they used when me and Baba was in the same jail. Baba told me when this is over that the family would be exiling. We would all be leaving to Liberia. And I got happy and wrote Baba a letter about it, and they used the letter in court to say that Baba was going to flee to go to Liberia. But when I got with Rochelle and the officer who was communicating between me and Baba, all of a sudden he didn't want to work with me no more. So I knew that Rochelle had gotten to him, and that's how I knew she was an FBI informant, But in Nifu, I know for a fact she's an FBI informant because one day she was on a phone in a parking lot talking, and whoever she was talking to on the phone, she said, she was like, I can't, y'all got to let me do things my way because y'all gonna blow up my spot. And the way she was talking, it didn't sound like she was talking to somebody. She was talking like she was talking to, I said, why is she talking like that? And then when she saw me, she got scared. And she was like, how long was you standing right there? I said, I lied. I said, I just came. I said, I'm going to get in the car right now. She was like, oh. And she started laughing, So now, let me get on. I wrote some other things down that I need to let y'all know. So I already told y'all Nefu, FBI agent, Dana, FBI agent, Al Woodall, FBI agent, Rick, Warlock, witch, Joaquin, witch, Fatima York, FBI agent, witch, her son, Warlock, okay? Fatima York went with me to Washington, D.C., okay? I set up a meeting with Charles Mallory, Secretary Nippy, and, Fatima York, she's the type of person that always steals your ideas. Every time you come up with something, here she comes wanting to work with you on it. But her purpose is not to really work with you, it's just to mess it up. Their job is to make sure Baba doesn't get out of there, And her and Charles Mallory, as I told y'all, they lied to Secretary Nippy and lied to Congressman Hank Johnson. I set up a meeting for them, and they lied and said that Baba was an honorary diplomat, that he wasn't a diplomat with full immunity. Baba's daughter, Leah Mabry, she's into witchcraft, and so is her mother. And I was dumb enough to let her mother come in my house, and her mother, because her mother didn't have anywhere to live, and I let her stay with me, and she took something that belonged to me and gave it to her daughter, so that they could do some, satanic witchcraft or whatever, And, a lot of Baba's, ex-mates and women in his life, they always used, their children to attack Baba. But when Leah and Hagar York was living in a house, I felt in my heart, like in my soul, that they were part of this conspiracy to keep their father in prison, because when I was working on things in Washington, they didn't want to give me the finances to help their father. They kept on playing games. They wasn't answering the phone. And then I had a lady named Lillian German who was going to get Baba moved to another facility. This lady worked with Congressman John Conyers. She was a very powerful woman who had connections in the Department of Justice. And when she wanted to meet up with the lawyers, I invited them like an idiot. I invited all of them down to Washington to meet with this lady. And then when they went to the embassy, they told me I couldn't come in, So like I said, man, they don't want Baba home, And if you sit back and you watch all the things that are happening to their families, you'll wonder why. Why was Hajar's sister killed in a car? You know, she wrote, her, and as soon as Baba got locked up, her and her father put out a lawsuit to get $1 billion against Baba. I was like, what is this? I never forget when I got that document. I was like, well, who is Radia? I'm thinking that's Baba's ex-wife, Khartoum's mother. They said, no, that's Hagar York's sister. And, you know, I live here in Orlando, so when that accident happened and I saw it on the news, and then I saw her posting pictures of her sister dying, and then shortly after her father died, I was like, wow, there's no coincidence. You know, Baba's a pharaoh. He's here to save us. He's our savior, and he has lives in his hands. So you guys are messing with Baba's life, and you're wondering why things keep on happening to you. You know, I remember one time when Joe came back from the visit with Baba, him and McKean, her uncle, her mother's brother, and they was trying to get a document that I had from me. And I was like, and Joe was like, oh, you got that document. I know you got that document, Tabajet. He told McKean, and I said, okay, you know what, if this nigga is trying to get this document from me, that means he's against Baba too. He doesn't want Baba home. And then shortly after, you know, I never gave it to him. You know, I said, yeah, I'll give it to you. I lied. I was like, yeah, you keep waiting. I'm not giving y'all shit. I don't trust none of y'all niggas, man. You know? And so then shortly after, in 2017, I don't know if it's true, I heard that it was McKean's family on May 8th in 2017 when those 2 adults died in that fire and them 4 children. You know? So it's like these people are doing things to Baba. If that's his family, I don't know. I don't know if that's his family. If that is his family, then he's looking like a suspect to me. Because like Baba broke down when he said that Titanic, when that boat crashed, he said that because they went into the tombs of Egypt and they had the gold and jewelry. You know, they were stealing. They went in the tombs and they got curses put on them. So I'm sure that, you know, some people, yeah, they're dying because they're not eating correctly, you know, but there's some people that's just dropping like flies like it's nothing. You know, I want to talk now about Sakina before I lose track. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Sakina, her name is Patricia Lewis, a sister named Angela Barneswell. Hold on one second, family. Sakina did what's called a blood ritual, right? She came down to Florida with a sister named Angela Barneswell and another sister who y'all know as Mitru, but her name is Renee Smith. She died. They drank blood. They did some ritual where they drank goat's blood. And how I found this out was because every time, now I didn't know that the sister Mitru, I didn't even want to call her sister. I didn't know that this devil was a witch and that she was into witchcraft. But when I got to New York, she had told the sisters, oh, tell Tabajet I want to do a pedicure. I said, why would she want to do a pedicure for me? I said, that's weird. I said, well, she got a shop. She do a shop. No, she just likes to pamper sisters and all this. And in my mind, I was like, I said, I'm not letting her do no goddamn pedicure. That sounds stupid to me. But I found out later on that she wanted to get my toenails. That's why she wanted to do the pedicure, to do my toenails. But this chick was an evil, evil woman. I almost had Baba out a second time. There was a lady that I met in Washington, D.C., that wanted documents. She was African. And she told me, give me the paperwork, what you have on the judge, and I'll make sure it gets to the right hand. So evidently they must have been tapping my phone line. I didn't know how deep this rat hole was. But she called me shortly after I spoke to that lady, and I said, yeah, I'm going to D.C., da-da-da-da. She was like, oh, yeah, I want to come down there. And when I got to Union Station to meet the lady, they called me and was like, where you at, Tabajet? Where you at? I said, I'm right here. They said, no, we want to come with you. Wait for us. And they made me miss my appointment with this lady. But like I said, they did a blood ritual where they drank goat's blood. It was Mitru, who's also known as Renee Smith. She died. It was Sakina and the sister Angela Barneswell. Angela Barneswell came on a trip with me and the sister Saada because we were going to let Congressman John Conyers, who was the only congressman at the time that could put up a judge to be impeached. We were going to do like another documentary and tell the congressman how the judge held court on Martin Luther King's birthday. So when we went to D.C. to do this, Angela Barneswell came along with us, but she got sick. And so I spoke to her sister on the phone, and she said, "What's going on, Tabitha Jet?" And I told her, and she was like, I said, "Yeah, Angela." I said, "They call her Sia, and she has a son named Orion." I said, "Oh, Angela, she's sick." She said, "What's wrong with her?" I said, "I don't know. She got a fever, and she's laying down, and she's not feeling too well." She said, "Oh, she has spinal meningitis." I said, "What?" So I was like, "That shit is contagious." Excuse my language. And so she said, yeah, they did it. They went to Florida with Sakina, and they did a ritual and drank goat's blood. So now this sister also was working with Mitru against me to stop me from helping Baba. Okay? This rat hole goes deep, y'all. Now, I got another, and now they both were federal agents. Now, I want to bring something else up that's disturbing to me, and I'm going to bring it up, and I don't give a damn. I want to bring something up about Prince York's mother, Shalimar. Now, she has 3 children with Baba, right? And my thing is this. How could you sit back and let the children of your father be in jail when your father was in a hospital and he died? And Judge Charles Ashley Royals was the defense attorney on your father's case. Okay? Her name is Shalimar Richardson, but we know her as Fatima, and we call her Fatima, Texas, to not get her mixed up with Fatima York. This is Prince York's mother. I called her when I lived in Athens, when I was doing my research. And I was in college at the same time, too, but I dropped out. Because Baba said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Focus on my case." I said, "Okay." And I dropped out, you know. And I said, "All right, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm gonna do what Baba say. He's smart." And so I got with her, and I called. I said, "Listen, we could get him out because you got Sheila Jackson Lee, who is a congresswoman on the congressional. She sits on a congressional office, and she's also an impeachment officer. She's the one that sits to get a lawyer impeached." I said, "Your father was got the sponges left in him." Oh, she started ranting on and on. She said, "I'm not doing nothing, and I'm not dropping out of college." She was like, "I wasn't the wife. Kathy was the wife." I said, "Well, what does that got to do with him being incarcerated? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? I got, men, in my life, in my past that was locked up, and when somebody came up to me and said, 'Hey, Flip is in jail.' That's my ex name. And he said, and we weren't together anymore. And he said, he told me to reach out to you, send him a few dollars, and if you could, send him some sneakers or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." You know what I'm saying? Because, look, man, we black people, we don't belong in the system like that, So I was like, all right, I'll send my homeboy. He not my man no more. I got up with his girl, gave her some sneakers, gave her some money. She was going on a visit. I said, tell him I said, keep his head up, and that was it. But here it is. This is Baba, the master teacher, over the land. And instead of you getting into a fight, you did not fight. She said, "I am not quitting college." And I was sad to hear that. And I had to bring that up to y'all because I'm tired of people sitting around here acting like they care so much when reality is they don't. Now, I got somebody, she's not an FBI agent, but she didn't want to